Oh God.
It's
Three,
a
2, 1. Did you see that? Is that new?
crap. I'm at the wrong frame rate in OBS. Well, we're gonna do it anyway. We're doing it.
What frame rate are you in
I'm in
OBS?
30 from doing TF2, playing TF2
Oh.
yesterday, so I could pick on you and record.
Don't don't
Is
forget to
this
to
is
mute the
this
live
fun?
stream. I can't see it. I have to look all the way over here.
Can I get this one out without burning myself?
Spill coffee. We're in
Spill coffee.
we're in the spill
Oh,
coffee portion of the live stream.
we are. I need my notes. Oh my goodness.
They're right here in Riverside.
A fan. Oh, good. I see me moving up there in Riverside, or not in YouTube. That's good.
Yeah, I muted us in YouTube already. We're the only two people watching.
Just in case, I'm gonna pause my uploads here, just to make sure the live stream goes smoothly.
Okay. Should I pause mine? It
Can't
shouldn't matter.
hurt, but it shouldn't matter. But I have a lot more going on over here, Tubby. When I was editing the video, I should be making sure. Am I centered here? I'm centered, which is good for the live stream, I think. And my eyes are at about 2:30. I'm gonna take that, so I'm gonna flip my screen so I don't look at me anymore. God, and why am I at the bottom of the Riverside window? Oh, now I'm in the middle? I just want to get you behind the camera, Tubby, so I'm looking at you. There we go. And I don't need to see me. Are we doing okay, Tubby?
I think we're doing good. Well,
Yeah, I had trouble, Tubby, with my... I feel... Do you feel that too? Do I look... I look very, Do I look cool?
no, you've never looked cool a single day in your life.
Cold? Do I look cold
The
instead of
temperature
warm?
does look a little bluer.
Doesn't it?
It does.
How do I... Oh, God, don't... No, no, no. Oh,
Bump
no.
bump up the warmth.
Boy, that's bumped up pretty far.
Trying to
That's
look.
as warm as I'm going to get, I think, then. Have I forgotten any... I got to go turn my lights on, Tubby.
Okay.
Don't let the people on the live stream see my sweatpants.
Don't look at Pat's sweatpants, everybody. Alex is warning us. He's telling us that it's live in a public way. Oh, he's talking about his own video.
I hear keys.
That's
I
me
hear
typing.
keyboard.
I'm talking
Yeah.
to Alex Corville.
I know Alex.
He's talking about his latest SodaStream video, which is very interesting, and everybody should go check it out.
They should. It's fascinating.
He did a really good job. I was impressed.
Why can my chair lean back? There we go. There we go. Now I'm locked. I'm locked in.
Mine's kind of squishy.
I locked mine in. If I don't lock it in, I'm gonna lean back.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna...
Mine's always locked in, but it's still, I can rock back in it quite a lot. Quite a lot? More than I'd like to. I don't know.
So I had trouble
you
editing
see what-
last month's episodes, Tubby.
Oh no, what'd I do?
Nothing. It's me. Riverside gives me two files. There's the... I don't want to say it's raw because it's not raw, but they give me... They give me the file that I upload,
Uh-huh.
and then they give you a constant frame rate version of the same thing.
Okay.
And the constant frame rate, I move ahead, I get behind. The audio, it's not great. And, I started thinking about what's actually going on here while I'm doing this. I have OBS is recording my screen,
Yep.
streaming that to the disk in one format, sending it to Chrome as a virtual webcam. Then Chrome is sending that up to Riverside as an MPEG, as a 480p MPEG, and then recording it as a 1080p MPEG on its own. Then similar things are happening to me over the USB device from the camera. There's just I don't know that it doesn't seem like too many things, right? But it's enough that
It's a lot of stuff.
it's a lot of stuff, and I figured I moved my camera's on my laptop today.
Okay.
So
Everything's different.
everything's different. Maybe I'll futz with this next time to I figure I could do some process priorities to make sure that the things that actually need to capture USB video will be there to do it. But
I like just buying more hardware. A new computer for everything that you need to happen.
this was a lot of stuff to plug in,
I can
Brian.
imagine.
There's wires. You wouldn't believe it.
I think I would.
And you can't even see half of them because they're hiding behind my bounce card and things here. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I did something different. Did you notice?
What did you do different? Oh, your glasses aren't blue, Tubby.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
I learned it on YouTube. You probably can't. I'm wearing them way high up. They're at a different angle.
Oh.
They're like this. I don't know if it's that pronounced, but my eyelashes are hitting
How do
every
I
now
make
and
mine
then.
turn blue?
If you see if I tilt, you can see up my nose. That's awful. If I tilt my head
Oh,
way back.
okay. I understand what's happening.
Some lady on YouTube taught me about that.
You don't even know her name.
I can't. I wish I remember who it was. I punched it into YouTube, and she showed it, and I was like, "God, that's got to be uncomfortable." But I'm gonna try it once, and
So it just has to do with the geometry of
my face
glasses
in the
stuff.
monitor, or the
and
monitor
your
and my
glasses and
yeah.
they
and
might
my
have
light.
you might have a tilt to them built in. I don't know. Should we announce an episode and talk about glasses, Tubby? Since you're
Yeah, I can throw in my tidbit about my glasses.
yeah, you can. Are you ready? I'm going to introduce it because
All-
why not?
All right. There's just the two of us, so we
In
won't
honor, that's fine.
we won't be
In honor
embarrassed.
of Chris is watching Psych this week.
Like the original Psych.
The show. We watched one of the movies or two of the movies.
Okay.
Because I hadn't seen them, so she's watching the show.
The whole show. It
The
was
whole
good.
show. It's a fantastic show.
I didn't
But in
watch all
honor
of
of that, I'm going to do an intro, a Psych intro for us, Tubby. Welcome to the. Uh-oh. I think I have coffee on my face. All right. Welcome to the Butter What Show. I'm your host, Burton Guster. This is my co-host, Guy Buttersnaps. And we're going to talk to you today about glasses.
Specifically, old man glasses.
Very old man glasses.
Well, not very, but let's just
Well, I didn't know you got them when you're 40. How old am I?
old enough that you don't even know how old you are.
It's true. But I ordered. We talked about this last month on the live stream, and I know a little bit more now. I went to get an eye exam, and they told me, sure, you could get bifocals, and they told me the numbers to get. And I ordered my glasses from the internet, where I learned, oh, I should have that.
Yeah.
I should have that in the page up here. So
In our
people can
notes.
see
Yeah,
it.
you can look
Here's
at.
our friend, this guy,
Yeah.
glasses guy. Remember him?
I remember him. I don't think he actually wears progressive lenses.
Those are actual corrective lenses, though. I could see the way it's distorting the shape of his face over here. So they're at least he is wearing real glasses. He's
It's
not
not
a
just
model.
glass. He's not a model.
He is not Derek Zoolander.
I'm a merman, Pop.
But the important thing that I learned that I didn't learn from the wonderful eye doctor that gave me my exam is that there are three. Well, I don't know. There might be others, but Zenni on the internet here, ZenniOptical.com, will give you glasses that are optimized, progressive bifocals that are optimized for near, medium, and your normal standard distance lenses. And I ordered the first ones, Tubby. The
near ones.
near. And that's what I just put on my face here.
Okay.
Then I liked them so much, I ordered the other two because I figured I need to learn what to wear.
Yeah.
Right? The near and the medium don't have distance vision, so it's
Don't
probably
drive.
not even legal to drive with them. So I knew I needed the third one. And I think everybody should do this. It only cost me about $125 to get 3 of these glasses with 3 different. I got them in different colors. I've got silver here for, but you probably can't tell the difference. And there's a black pair somewhere that are my outside distance
Okay.
glasses. But I learned really quick with the near range, if I sit in the living room, I can't see the TV. Clearly. I mean, I could see it. I can
Yeah.
make out what's going on. I'm not saying I can't participate. But there's only that purple slice up there. If I look through that slice at the top, I can see the TV. But you can't see the whole TV. It's too tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a crick in my neck after watching all of Psych.
I know, right? But then I tried the regular standard progressives at my desk, and I have to do. It was fine. I talked to you guys in Discord, and the down at the bottom of the screen is where the text entry
Yep.
field was. I'm like, oh, this is fine. But then to look up at the top of the screen, I had to do this. So it's awful. So I can't wear the standards in the house. Well, at least at my desk.
At your desk.
Yep. I've been forcing myself to wear the intermediates at my desk. And it works all right. And I'm learning right now, because this is the first time I've put the near range back on since I've had the other ones for 2 days. This is quite a bit nicer at my desk than...
Do we need a code word for the middle of the live stream if I catch you like staring down too much or off
You
camera?
just say, hey, Tubby, what the hell, dude? But I was kind of expecting, after I went back and ordered them and looked at these pictures, I said, almost for sure the intermediates are what I'll wear everywhere at the house, because they're good enough, and they are good enough at my desk. I can see the TV across the living room. I can see my phone without doing this. You do this?
Yeah.
Sometimes I do
all
this.
the time.
But I also learned, fantastic, the standards, I could read my phone. I have to look kind of pretty far down, but I could read my phone without taking my glasses off when I'm out traveling. So I've got all the tools I need. It's just a bummer that I'm going to be switching glasses.
Yeah, how are you gonna manage that? Because if I do that, I know I'll have all the wrong glasses in all the wrong places.
One of the nice things about these glasses being cheap on the internet is that I could buy extras,
Yeah.
right? I'm tempted to leave the standards in the car up in the, the little glasses holder up there, and that's just where they're going to live. Maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good answer yet. And maybe
Okay.
after I've lived with these for a few months, I'll have a good answer. But I'm tempted to still wear the intermediates, the mid-range, everywhere around the house, and just switch glasses when I go out the door.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm looking at the picture.
And I only need them when I drive, right? I went out, Chris said I was out of my mind for doing this, but I went out for a ride on my unicycle with these near-range progressives the first day. And at the park, at the distances I have to see, I could see all the signs. I can read everything. It's not... And it didn't cause me any weird balance issues with how odd the...
Yeah.
Progressives are just a little odd. It's just how they are.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, so at least if I could zero in on the intermediates, I could wear them anytime I'm not driving. So like if somebody comes to pick me up and take me somewhere, or I take an Uber, I don't have to bring my
Driving glasses.
long range, my driving glasses. My goodness, Tubby. But I don't know. I'm sure nobody watched our last live stream or the last episode. If you're tuning into this, you probably didn't see it. But my complaint was with regular glasses, looking at my screen where it is right here, just out of arm's reach, it was blurry. And if I took my glasses off, it was equally but differently.
A different kind of blurry.
Yeah,
Or
not crisp. I mean, I knew when I put these on, I was like, oh yeah, that's the way it used to be in the old days. It was fantastic.
I can't remember what was This is ages ago when I realized that I needed glasses. And it wasn't, my prescription wasn't very strong back then, but the description that I told all my friends was, it was like going from a normal monitor to a Sony Trinitron monitor. Everything got just a little bit crisper.
A little nicer. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. And I forgot the important thing I was going to tell you. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. Your laptop on your lap, Tubby, is not too bad with the standards, and it's fantastic with the progressives because it's down so low.
It's down low enough that
You're already kind of looking down through the...
Interesting.
Yeah, on the laptop, the intermediates were about as good as these
Yeah,
for me.
I can imagine.
Now I'm focusing on looking at everything. I don't know who this episode's for, Tubby. I don't know who else is in there.
Other old dudes, probably.
We're right short of middle-aged, Brian. I looked up the
geez.
definition.
Really?
We're
What's
a few
middle?
years.
What's middle aged?
I think 45, 46 maybe, or maybe it's like after 45. I don't know. We're right there. Tubby.
I'm after 45.
You hear that?
Yes.
That's middle-aged knocking on the door.
What are you talking about? He's right over here. I got my
right
hand
here.
on his shoulder.
But Tubby, that's my glasses update.
Well, that's
And
good.
I'm happy about it. I'm unhappy about it. It would be nicer not to need glasses at all.
Yep.
Have you considered the laser surgery?
No.
Me neither.
No. Mm-mm. I
hear enough stories about it not lasting forever, and you hear about the halos people see around their eyes at night when there's headlights coming at you. I don't want to.
As a diabetic, I need to get my eyes checked all the time. And I can't deal with things near or around my eyeballs. Back off. I will drive right down the road and make you stop doing that. The last time I got my eyes dilated and checked at the ophthalmologist's office, is she a nurse? The
Sure.
assistant. The assistant that she came to put the eye drops in to dilate my pupils. And I warned her right up front. I said, I'm no good at this. It's going to be really tough. And she laughed, and we're in Texas, so she called me, I can't remember, sweetheart or something. She said, sweetie, you have no idea how good I am at this. 45 minutes later, she said, well, why don't we take a break? You go sit out in the lobby for a little while. And I go out there and I sit down, and the only spot that's free is next to this, I guess, an elderly couple. And they both looked at me kind of funny, like, hey, what's up with this? And I sat down next to the woman, and she's like, honey, are you okay? Did you just get some really bad news? And I just laughed. I told her, no, they're trying to give me eye drops. And
God bless
she's like, oh, bless your heart. You're one of those people. I was like, apparently.
Tell me, I have these eye drops here.
Uh-huh.
These ones are allergy of some sort that Chris got me, and these are just saline, I guess. I don't know. Nothing fancy in these. You don't have to get them in your eye. You just have to get it like right about. I don't know how to get in there.
That's too
without
close.
picking my nose. But
Yep.
you can have your eye closed and hit that tear duct area, and then when you open your eye, it'll all just fall. Because I miss a lot. I don't know how to aim.
You're causing me to twitch. I'm about to get up and go running out of the office. I'm
Don't do it.
triggered.
Don't do it. But that's all I've got to tell you about my glasses, Tubby. I think that was all right.
That was all right. What does everybody on the internet say?
I'd like to know what the people on the live stream think. But the number is 3. That's you, me, and Chris, probably. So I don't know.
We might already know what Chris.
Bifocals. I could just delete that from the list now.
Bifocals.
Done.
Yeah, done. Do we, what do we talk about next? I lost my thought.
Well, we've got your Prusa XL or your DIY NAS are the two singular topics that'll be episodes in our list here.
And we'd skip the Kira infill.
Well, I don't think we need. I think we are going to talk for a lot about just the Prusa XL, don't you?
I think so too. I don't. I mean, I could say this. I didn't shop very well. I mean, they said they were coming out with a new printer, and I said,
Well,
I
don't
would
tell
like a
us
new.
yet.
Yeah.
Don't
Well,
tell us yet.
but I'm just warning you in advance that the extent that I'm going to be able to talk about it is I'm going to say I wanted a new printer. and
Well, Pat has a lot of opinions
Okay.
about the Prusa XL. DIY NAS 2022. I'm just going to put this in a tab over here while
blogged
I'm,
up Ryan C. Or open up would the video be a better thing to show
I
on the
thought it'd
screen?
be here. Isn't it here somewhere?
It's there somewhere.
Is
Yeah.
it the time lapse here?
Yep.
Watch on YouTube.
Do 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 do.
I'll just take this back up to the top here. This is ready early.
All right.
Because make sure that's muted. I know that guy. Well, what do you want to do first, Tubby?
Let's do the 3D printing one
All right.
because that's in order in the document that nobody
It
can
is.
see.
We did bifocals first, even though it's gone now, so
It's-
nobody will know that.
I
it's
don't.
last.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's not even on the list anymore.
Don't make fun of me.
Did you just spill?
Yeah. I'm using some Julies today. You guys know the Julies?
I do.
It
Did it
keep my
clunk?
coffee. They shifted as I was drinking the last of my coffee here, and you know what they did?
Push coffee out.
Yeah, yeah.
I keep
Can you
them.
tell?
I
Can you
keep
tell
them.
Can you tell my chin is sticky now?
Let me. Ew.
It's yucky. I should look at these prices. $2,000. $500 to put that sucker together for you.
Yep. Paid for that. Oh.
Oh, good plan. Good plan. Good. I'll introduce us here, Tubby.
Okay.
Am I in for? Okay. I was gonna say good after evening. I don't even know what time it is.
Good day.
Good day. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another 3D printing episode of the Butterwhat Show. We're going to talk about the Prusa XL because my co-host here, BrianCMoses.com, he immediately, as soon as he saw the Prusa XL was going to be available, he went to their website and ordered one.
Shut up and take my money.
Absolutely. What have you? What can you tell us about the Prusa XL, Tubby?
Well, not as much as I'd like to be able to say about it, other than I was really excited when they announced it and felt like it would be a pretty sizable upgrade for me. The biggest, we've talked about this a lot offline, but the biggest issue I've had lately is I've had a bunch of first layer adhesion problems where I've been tinkering with my 3D printer just about every print. Not always, but especially with that little F14 guy.
Yeah, he
You know-
sticks on these. I lose these round. The
Yeah.
round jets don't like to stick, at least with this filament.
And one of the XL's new features is this supposed fantastic no calibration first layer. And that right there on the feature list all by itself was enough for me to say, yeah, I want to try that out. I'm excited about it. I'd like to be an early adopter of a new 3D printer, and I'm really looking forward to it.
I agree with you. That's the feature I'm most excited about. The Prusa XL compared to this is Prusa's Voron, essentially. This is it's big. Oh, geez, they're telling me centimeters.
Don't they
It's
know?
a cube again. It's back to a cube like the old i3. It's about 14 by 14 by 14 inches. And it's a Core XY. And I should have queued up a video to show how Core XY works, but it's like magic. There's two motor. This doesn't seem exciting because it's true of your old printer, Brian, but two motors move the X and the Y axis, but two motors are always involved. Whether you're moving horizontal, like it's all horizontal. Cut. No. Whether it's X or Y, both motors have to turn. They turn in opposite directions to go. I don't understand how it works. It's like voodoo.
It's magic, like our quadcopters steering.
Yeah, they just work.
They just work. We don't
physics makes it happen.
We don't understand it. Physics.
But I don't have the page up. What's the regular Prusa is what about $1,200 less than this.
Yeah, the Mark 3S.
The Mark 3S Plus or whatever, like $750 and then 1,100 assembled or something, and this is 2,000 for the kit and 2,500 assembled. I think I'm excited enough about the new bed leveling that I would pay $1,000 just for the new bed leveling. But that's not the only new feature. This should be there haven't been test demo videos or anything yet, have there?
There was a couple. I can't remember which of the 3D printer guys did a couple, but they took the Prusa XL to I don't know the name of the show, 3D Printing Con or whatever, and a bunch of the 3D printing YouTube guys all stopped by.
Nobody's put it through their paces.
Yeah, nobody
showed us what it could really do.
Other than somebody being able to watch it for a few minutes at a booth, nobody's had their hands on it.
The last time we did that, and we had one of our 3D printers on display somewhere, I purposely turned down the printing speed because I wanted one big print to run exactly from the beginning to the end of the time we were going to be there, so I didn't have to mess with it. I wonder what kind of nonsense they do.
That's brave.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't that big of a print. It was a medium-sized print, but I instead of taking 3 hours, I wanted it to take 8.
8, yeah. My luck with 3D printing is it just keep getting knocked off the bed every 20 minutes, and you'd be starting over from the.
We hairsprayed that sucker down. This was like 8 years ago.
Take off a layer of glass off of the surface.
But the way this new bed leveling works, I mean, it's very much like the old one where you check the height at different points and it, does math and adjusts your Z. But our old printers use the Pinda probe, which is kind of a magnetic inductance magic probe that senses the steel sheet under the PEI.
Yep.
And to me, that's a bummer because you have to program in how thick all your PEI sheets are. You have to recalibrate and you have to pick, if you have 5 PEI sheets, you have to put the right number in to the printer or it's not coming out right. But this won't matter. You could put pretty much anything on there, and it's a pressure sensor. When the nozzle touches the surface, it triggers some kind of highly sensitive doodad up in the mechanism. And that's really cool.
Yeah, it sounds really neat. And I pre-ordered it.
You did pre-order. When is it supposed to be due? Oh, it says here. Q2, Q3 of next year.
Q2 or Q3 of next year, but my invoice said late January. So I don't know.
Q1.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know how accurate that invoice is. I mean, for all I know, everybody says it. I hope that just means I'm towards the front of the line.
I hope so. Well, you were quick.
Yeah. Because it wasn't actually a pre-order. It was just a deposit. It was a $200 refundable deposit. And at the time that they get to your order, you can change your order. They'll ask you to pay. And
I'm just running through the features because I don't even remember everything. They've eliminated the multi-material weird. I thought it was really weird.
I'm kind of excited about this.
This is multiple print heads.
Print heads. Tool changing.
Like a CNC machine where it goes out and grabs the correct tool.
And right now,
you can load this up with a bunch of different materials or colors.
Yep. And right now it's only hot ends, but they said other tools would be possible. That there wasn't a.
The things I can imagine you could. I know you can put a laser on there.
Yeah,
that would be easy. And
That's the only thing I could think of,
yeah,
or
you're not
maybe
going
a
to put a
teeny
Dremel.
tiny.
You're not going to put a Dremel on
Yeah.
there. The
or-
Core XY is just not a stiff enough
okay.
platform for that. The trouble is, a CNC machine needs to be rigid, and usually they're slow because they put big honking motors on. But a 3D printer needs to be fast and light and
Yep.
zip around. It's a different, very different optimizations there. They're telling us about the Live Z adjust is going away, the Core XY. The power loss recovery is not new, but I've never seen it work on any of the old printers. And I know it has it only work. I think it only works on the Prusa Mark III if you print from the SD card instead of from Octoprint.
Oh, that's a bummer.
But I think you can set up Octoprint to copy the file to the SD card and run the job
Okay.
from there. But I've heard a lot of finicky things. I hope this works. But like I've heard that if the power goes off, comes back on, and then goes off again
Interesting.
too soon,
Yeah.
you're in trouble. It's
The modular print bed is interesting.
yeah, where you only have to heat
The parts
parts of
that
the
you're
print
going to
bed, and
use.
it doesn't warp
Yeah,
as much.
it doesn't warp as much.
It looks like it's 16 small units instead of one gigantor heating unit.
I wonder if that'll. Wonder what kind of difference in power efficiency that does. I don't know that it would be.
I've never put a kilowatt on my Mark III, but I put a kilowatt on my old printer, and I used to run things a lot hotter. I used to print ABS, so it was 100 Celsius bed instead of 60 and a hotter tool. It never went over 150 watts.
Oh, that's not exciting.
And that was only when when it happened to be heating, right?
Yeah.
When most of the
everything
time
was warming up. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of the time it's not that high. But I think it'll be exciting for not warping your build plate as
Yep.
much.
Yeah.
The 32-bit electronics is exciting, but we already have that in the Prusa Mini. I don't know how much this shares in common. But I've been expecting the next Prusa, like the Mark IV or whatever the next in this line of my printer will be. We'll get the same 32-bit electronics that are in the... I already forgot the name of it again.
Everything
I said
else.
it too.
The XL or the Mini?
Ooh, a built-in Ethernet connection. I wonder what it does.
Yeah, that's interesting. Can I run Octopi right on it? I doubt it.
No,
That'd
it
be
wouldn't have enough juice
Yep.
for that. The Prusa Mini has a port to plug one of our old ESP8266s in. You know, the little one with the 8-pin connector on the bottom?
Uh-huh.
To print, you could connect Octoprint to it over Wi-Fi serial magic.
Oh, that's
somehow.
fun.
I don't know if I trust it, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking of that. That's all not necessarily a problem, but I wouldn't mind getting rid of my Raspberry Pi and running Octoprint on a Linux container or something like that on my thing that we're going to talk about in the next episode.
Ooh, we're talking about another episode.
We
That's
are.
Exciting. I'm excited about the Prusa XL. I'm excited that you're getting one, so I get to see one. But it seems like too much printer for me.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that too.
I kind of wanted when my old printer broke and I ordered the Mark III's, I was really hoping to order a Prusa Mini because it's about the right size and they're so inexpensive. I really wanted to try it, but
Yep.
when I ordered it was going to be like 12 or 16 weeks before they would ship one to me.
Maybe. And at the time
Maybe.
that date was crawling or climbing,
moving.
right? Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was right before, all of the silicone shortages and whatnot also. So there's no telling.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you
But
make
the Mark III was only 4 or 5 weeks for a fully assembled
Yeah.
unit. And I said, yep, that's for me. I will take that.
you made a good decision, I think.
But it'll be interesting. I'm more excited about when this stuff starts trickling into the Mark III and the Prusa Mini. I want this kind of bed leveling everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, what'll be the upgrade kit that inherits some of that R&D.
I'm glad you brought the Prusa XL. I would not fault anyone for buying one, but when I see the $2,500 price tag for the fully assembled one, I start thinking, well, how many minis could I buy
Yep.
and have on a? I don't really want that many. I don't
Yeah.
want.
Do
I
you
don't
really
want
want 8
seven.
printers?
Yeah, I don't really want 8 print. Maybe 3. Maybe 3 would fit in a reasonable amount of space. I don't know. I don't know. But somebody's thinking about this. I'm
What's
sure.
what's the volume of the XL compared to the Mini? Is it 3
Huge.
times as much?
Well, I've got the picture up here, and it looks.
Ginormous.
I would tell you it's 6 or 8 times as much.
Yeah.
But the Mini and the Mark III are not that far. But volume doesn't matter. I hate printing things that are tall.
Yep. I hate printing things that are tall also.
But I've said before I'd love to have a big print bed just to fit more parts on there.
Yep.
But then that increases your chance of failure. So I don't.
It's a conundrum.
It is.
I want to print it.
Today I cut some parts for my Tindy stock on
Yep.
the CNC, and it's the first time today where I cut an entire sheet all at once. And I thought, oh, if this goes wrong,
It's a whole
well, it's not that big of a bummer. The carbon's not that expensive, but like
it's
I thought this
expensive
is gonna
enough.
go bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there's-
your time's worth something.
Yep. Well, the one sheet of carbon costs about as much as a whole spool of filament. So,
Yeah.
if the tool decided to go brrr right through the whole thing, it's all got. It's not
It's
like
all got, yeah. Well, maybe
it's
you
not
can
like
use it for
knocking
scrap.
something off your print bed and saying, "Oh, we have to start
Yeah.
over."
Oh,
and all that
cancel,
filament's
clean
still
it,
there.
start all over.
Yeah, but that went well, so nobody has to worry about that.
Good. You had me worried when you were talking about it.
I was a little. Something did go wrong. It drilled all the holes for the first job, and then I went out there and it wasn't doing anything, and it
Yeah.
wasn't responding to any of my clicks in the interface or anything. I was like, "Ooh." But I was able to recover. Everything was fine.
It was not a catastrophic failure. I
thought
tried
it
to
was
say
good. I was.
I tried to say catastrophic at the same time.
You did a good job. Like I just reran the second half of the job. I exported it again and ran to do the cutouts of all the things.
Yep.
And it would have been a bummer if I couldn't find the home position again, because if they were off by a little bit, all the holes would be in the wrong.
Spot.
Yeah, and 15 plates would just be garbage.
Done.
Yeah, I don't know what other things to talk about on here. The extruder's nicer, but I've never complained about my extruder.
Yep.
They haven't told us how much filament this thing can extrude, because that's all those crazy speedboat
Those
races.
crazy. I was gonna say, am I gonna be doing speedboat races?
Well,
I don't
I'm not
think so.
interested in hitting those ridiculous speeds, but
It'd be nice if it was faster.
yeah, well, it has to be.
Yep.
Like you could get the same quality with more speed,
Yeah.
but it depends on how much hot end, how much
you can push through. Yeah.
how much heater there is there, and they don't really tell you here. Somebody knows. We'll find out more.
I'm excited to see the tool changing work.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'll do.
Did you buy a second tool?
Well, you can change it at the time that you order it. I haven't made up my mind yet, but when I placed my order, I was going to do the two tools. But I might change my mind and just do one, or I might change my mind and do 5 or whatever the max is.
I don't know what to do with the second tool.
I can only think multicolor stuff that has been problematic. Or
Yeah.
not problematic, but right now if I do multiple colors, I just change filament at a particular layer.
Yeah, and maybe change back once.
Yeah.
That's the most multicolor I
Yep,
would do.
exactly.
Just get some writing on something or
But have you seen the painting in the latest Prusa slicer?
you can paint colors on things.
Yeah,
Right?
I thought that was interesting. I don't know what I would do. Everything I stick my face on right now, I wind up
You don't want to put your face on the side of something right now because that's a lot of tool changes
yeah,
or filament changes.
filament
rather.
shit tons. And it
Yeah.
not at a you couldn't just walk over to it and say, "Okay, here in about 5 minutes I'm going to need to change the filament." And can you imagine inserting all that G code manually? That would be
Oh, I've never done it manually. I let the slicer do it for me.
Yeah, well, if you were doing it on the side,
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
the
know how.
slicer will still do it. You can tell it.
Okay,
You can tell it to use tool 2 for parts, and
yeah,
but it'll prompt you every layer. Do your
yeah.
swap. I don't want to do that. I definitely don't
What
want
was
to do that.
that first 3D printer I had? It had dual extruders.
It was a clone of the MakerBot,
Yeah, but
whatever it was.
I never even went in to try and figure out the offset between the two extruders to print things multiple colors with that one. So
I looked into doing the dissolvable supports.
yep,
I bought a spool of the one it's HIPS is compatible with ABS, and it dissolves in. I'll put it up here because I don't remember what it's called. It starts with an L. I never bought
Lysol.
the stuff. Lysol. You dissolve it in Lysol, but it's a rather caustic chemical that you're dissolving the supports in, and I never got around to doing it.
Yep,
There's a filament. I think it's PVA is compatible with PLA, and it dissolves in water,
okay.
which sounds fantastic. Except as soon as you open that filament, it's
You've
done.
got it's done.
You can't even print the whole spool all at once before it absorbs so much water from the atmosphere
That
that
it
you
becomes.
can't,
Yeah, I was about to
that it
say
becomes
that
garbage.
mostly
Yeah,
mostly bags of water.
yeah, that's me. Don't lick the PVA. I don't know if it's PVA. I think it's PVA.
I'll trust you on that. Someone can correct us in the comments.
Oh, good. Anything else you want to say about your? Can we
No,
come back and find out how you're doing with your Prusa XL when it arrives?
yeah. I expect it'll be a blog topic or a video topic, maybe both, over on my YouTube channel.
I think it was a good choice spending the extra $500 to have it assembled for you.
Yeah, I everything everything that I've read about the kits are from people who say that it was great, that they understand how the 3D printer works better, but that it took them a weekend or something, a really long time. And I'd screw something up in that weekend. I'd get frustrated. I'd strip the wrong wire. It would be
Yeah.
a fiasco, and I'm not sure how long it would take to get that fixed. I mean,
And you don't even have to run through the calibration
yep,
steps, which are pretty fancy on the Prusa, even on the Mark III, and this is supposed to be better at that. But I was so happy that I opened the box for my Mark III, I pulled it out, cut a couple of zip ties, plugged it into my existing Octoprint server, and just hit print.
Yep,
And a thing came out, and then 15 minutes later, I printed something in TPU, and it just worked.
it just worked. Yeah, I
Well,
was
that's a lie. My TPU failed to stick the first time, and I had to put glue down.
glued down.
But that was my fault.
But you
I
almost
should've
did it. If you'd done it correctly, you would have had a successful
Yeah.
print.
I wanted to see what would happen if I didn't. I wanted to see if it would stick.
I was I was tempted when I bought my Mark III to buy the kit and assemble the kit myself, and opted to spend the extra few $100 to get it assembled, and that was awesome. We did that. We did an unboxing live stream that was like 4 minutes long. We took it out of the box, we hooked it up, we started printing something, and I was like, well, that was kind of underwhelming for a
I
live
know,
stream.
right?
Hey, let me live stream taking something out of a box and it just automatically working.
I was
So I
totally whelmed.
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 Yeah. So I can't wait. And
I'm excited.
we'll see how many tools I wind up getting. That's up in the air.
Did you know, Brian? My mother called the pizza shop one time, and they told her it would be, 30 minutes, and the pizza. It was just before they did delivery. They said it'll be 30 minutes, and she said, "Oh, I can't wait," and she hung up the phone. And my father went to pick up the pizza,
Oh no.
and they didn't make him any pizza because she told them she couldn't wait.
She couldn't wait. They
Yeah.
they
She had to
misunderstood
wait
her.
another 30 minutes over there. For
She was
pizza to be
excited. I'm excited to
Oh
come
yeah,
pick up the pizza.
Yeah,
That's
bless her
funny.
heart.
Bless her heart.
I think that was pretty good, Tubby.
I think so too.
Is there a picture here that I can have on the screen?
Um, in the slideshow, maybe if you opened it up in a new tab, it's above. It's right below the table of parts. There it is. That's the best.
It's got everything. Well, I'm whelmed. Look at the size of that.
Well, that's the
No, I
thumbnail.
know. Here, I'm zooming it in. It's fine.
No, take the. Oh shoot, no, that won't work. I can get you the URL for.
No, this is fine. This is fine. This is the image. It's good. Should I? Brian, you told me. Did you change your mind about giving away the old machine?
Yeah, I'm not giving anything away.
Oh, I thought you were going to give away the old one. Still,
I don't know. I don't know when I would do it. I'm gonna migrate. We'll talk about this, but I'm gonna migrate off of my old NAS and onto this new one, and I'm not in a big hurry to do that. So I
whenever
don't.
it happens.
Yeah, But by the time, I mean, I guess I could. I figured it would be kind of underwhelming to, 4 months later give away something that's no longer, you know, new news. It'll be old news. And
I think it's okay that it's old news. And, I'm bummed out that I have this. Where in the hell is it? I found my old VM host motherboard and processor and RAM here. And I feel bad that it's been sitting in my closet for 4 years.
Yep.
Somebody should have been using that. And I don't know who would.
I
could see me looking around for it on YouTube here.
I was kind of thinking that I'd just stick it on eBay with
That's fine.
with no reserve price or whatever, and then just tell, like on our live stream, say, hey, no, there's no reserve price. It's been working great. If it goes for $20,
then it goes for 20.
Then it goes for $20, and see what I get out of it. I'm not tempted to have a second NAS.
No.
But I mean, I could. I was astonished. I've got 7 working 4 terabyte hard drives in it.
They're not going to last long, though.
Yeah, well,
Where have you
they're ones that I upgraded from.
But they're sitting on a shelf.
Yes.
Somewhere. That's the worst thing to do with a hard drive because the bearings, the grease gets dried out. I don't know what happens inside there. Yeah.
Not evenly distributed.
But that used to be problematic.
I microwaved them all for about 30 seconds to warm them back up.
As long as you didn't microwave it so long it lets the smoke out, you're fine. So I should have introduced this by now.
Well, we were talking about the giveaway.
Yeah, that's
mostly that's not. So what I was thinking was after the YouTube video, like after I finish that, maybe I'll buy and give away a shuckable hard drive or 2 or something. I don't know.
Well, I don't want to say this in front of everybody, but you should figure out how little you can spend on the giveaway and still get as much return on your
investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. How many people enter the giveaway just because
it's
something
a
free
$2,000 thing?
Yeah, and how many people have been entering in it because it's a, $12, $13, $14, $15, $1,600 bananas over the top.
Yeah, or would they just be just as excited to get a $200 thing?
Yeah, yeah. Who was it? Lieutenant Data suggested. In the post on Patreon, he talked about doing something where I only built one. Do a virtual build and an actual build, and only give away the actual one.
What? Wait.
Well, like one of the reasons that I always have a NAS to give away is because I've kind of set
Don't tell me this, because I want to argue with you about that, because you know what the problem with that is.
What's the problem?
You've had this problem.
That's the reason why. Yeah.
Yeah, but let's do that on the episode here.
Okay.
We'll remember to bring that up. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Butter What Show. I'm your host, Pat Regan, and I'm here with the DIY NAS guy once again today here, BrianCMoses.com. And we're going to chat about the 2022 do-it-yourself NAS build that he just posted not too many days ago. And we could ask him why, if he knows that it's still 2021.
I am aware of that. I've always aspired to be like the automakers and be so far ahead that I'm releasing products before the year even ends.
Do I have a 2023 Tesla yet?
No, probably not. But if you did, the panels wouldn't align and it'd probably rattle when you drove real fast.
Nice.
Sorry, Elon. Yeah, I just before Thanksgiving, I finished up. I put the finishing touches on the blog for the DIY NAS 2022 edition. Um,
Nice.
this year, I was. I don't know what I was going to say. Totally lost train of thought this time. Holy moly!
This year.
Yeah, this year. So this year, I decided that I wanted to upgrade my own DIY NAS. In addition to all my other DIY NAS activities, I wanted to move it into the awesome 3D printed case and upgrade its RAM. And in pricing out RAM, to double the RAM that I had in the machine, it was 32 gigs. To
Was
go
it
up
ECC DDR3?
DDR3 registered, I think.
Not the one that's always cheap on
Not the
eBay.
one that's
Not
always
the stuff
cheap.
that gets pulled from servers.
Yeah, the really hard to find expensive stuff. It was going to cost for the RAM alone to go from 32 to 64 gigabytes. It was going to cost $800, and I was like,
No.
well, I don't know. I mean, I built it in 2016. It's been fantastic, but there's no point in spending $800 for that small of an upgrade, unless maybe it was a GPU in this day and age. I'd be excited about that. So, you know, I wound up deciding, hey, I'm going to build a whole brand new NAS, but I can't do I can't spend that much money this year on DIY NAS builds. So the next one, I'm just going to build it and keep it. And I'm going to call it my perfect DIY NAS. Not necessarily something that I'd recommend everybody do, but I wanted something
This meets your needs.
perfect for me. It meets my needs. It's it's tailored to, you know, if I like to, my last name's Moses, so I like to joke about 10 commandments. But if I had 10 commandments of DIY NAS building, this one meets all of them. And I usually, usually every year I wind up,
I'm going to put in Mel Brooks dropping the third
please do,
tablet.
third
right
tablet. Definitely. That's fair use, right? So yeah, usually when I build a DIY NAS, I kind of state what my ideal is, and then I have to compromise because things are expensive, or I want to try something new. But I didn't this time around. There wasn't much compromise, and I built it perfect for me. It's got I don't know the model. Pat's gonna
Yeah,
put it up.
I've got them all up here.
Pat's got
I'm gonna ask you questions, Tubby.
Okay.
We'll do a good job here. Now I noticed you got a pair of 1 terabyte SATA SSDs in here. Now I heard you did something controversial and you
I did.
partitioned these up to use them for multiple things.
Unsupported, and I've had shade thrown at me for doing it. I wound up deciding to buy 1 terabyte SSDs. It's a 2.5 inch SSD. They're at about $100 per terabyte, and that's an awesome price for SSDs. And the recommended thing, the thing that people tell you to do is just go buy the cheapest SSD you can find, or use like a SATA DOM. And those are
for your operating system.
for your operating system. Yeah, I apologize, for the operating system. And those are expensive. On the SATA, I did the
And
math.
they're garbage.
Yeah,
That's what I got out of looking at the SATA dumps. It's junk flash on a SATA.
with a SATA
Board.
connector.
Yeah.
I did the math. The SATA DOM's at about $1,575 per terabyte. Right. I mean, if you did the math,
And it's about as good as a micro SD card.
yep, it's $60 for a 32 gig, and the terabyte SSD that I picked out was $100.
So you ended up, you put a slice on the front of the drive for your operating system, and then a big slice at the end for your caching, ZFS
Well, and
cache stuff.
I opted not even to do any caching. I'm just going to use it for, I'm going to call it fast storage. I expect that what I'll probably do is put like my virtual machines in Linux containers on it.
Yeah,
And it's,
you're doing about what I did
yeah,
on mine too.
good.
Yeah,
And
we
there's a
used to have
mirror.
to do this in the old, like, in the days when you had hardware RAID cards. If you bought a one-use server with 4 drives, you just had to do you could do a RAID 10 on it or whatever. You had to do what you had to do. But then when we started using software RAID with Linux, you might say, well, I want to put a RAID 5 on there because I only have 4 drives and I want to, have as much usable space as I can, but still have redundancy. But Linux can't boot off of a RAID 5.
Okay.
You need a RAID 1 or a RAID 10 in there somewhere. So you just take a few gigabytes off the front, put a RAID 1 on it, put your OS on it, and then RAID 5 the rest of it. But you were constrained because you only had 4 drives. You couldn't add a 5th drive to a 1U server. That's just what you.
Yep.
And 4 was
the
not a
space
lot.
that
It's
you
not
have.
like you could waste a pair of drives for your OS and then have an 8 drive,
Exactly. Yeah, and
RAID 5 or RAID 6.
the case that I used, well, the MK735, I was at the limit, between my 2 SSDs and seven hard drives. I was at the limit of what I could fit in there.
What about SATA ports?
I did not have enough SATA ports.
But when
This-
you added a card, you would have
I
enough.
did.
You
I
have
had,
more, too many.
yeah,
Not too many, but
I have plenty now.
but what I'm saying is I encourage everybody to partition your stuff like this because something is gonna cost you more money. Either getting enough SATA ports to do
Yep.
more drives is gonna. You can always find a place to cram an SSD up in. God, you should see the places I've seen people cram drives in.
Well,
there.
and they're light enough. You could just Velcro them to something.
Yeah,
Next
and they
to
don't
the power
vibrate.
supply.
They don't do anything. Yeah, it's not
I, I won't even tell you about the janky ways I've mounted hard drives, 7,200 RPM hard drives. And
in the 486 days. One of my
yeah,
friends had one of those cheap drives that only had one platter in them. They were 3.5-inch drives, but they were really flat.
oh, not the Seagate Bigfoot ones. They had
Yeah.
they were
Not the
five and a,
Bigfoot.
they were like 5.25-inch drives.
Yeah, no, this was a little skinny thing.
Okay.
He crammed it in at the top of his case above all of the 5.25-inch drive base. There was a cutout in the top. After you took the lid off, he just set it in this little thin space up there and hid it in there. It was
did a
the
good job.
jankiest thing you've ever seen.
I've probably done worse.
Oh, I know I have. I I had a motherboard, a Pentium 200, a Cyrix P200, that didn't quite line up with the screw holes in the case. I just had a piece of anti-static bubble wrap underneath.
Yeah,
And the only thing holding it in were the PCI cards.
I've done that too, except I think I had a standoff or two in the right spot.
Yeah, there could have been. We can't. I don't have a picture. We didn't have digital cameras back then. But we're going off topic from the NAS here.
A
Tubby.
little bit.
So
The adventures of DIYing.
I'm going to go back to the picture here because this case is tremendous.
Is amazing.
3D Weebies 3D printed case is fantastic. How long did this take to print? 2
weeks? So long that I didn't measure like specific hours and minutes. There are a couple parts that took like 48 hours to print. And I had a couple, we talked, well, not in this episode, but in a prior episode, we talked about how long some of my first layer problems, but I had a couple things peel up. So I think start to finish, it was at least 2 weeks of constant printing on my 3D printer.
I believe this. It's so beautiful. It's like a work of art, Brian.
It really is. I'm ecstatic. I feel
it's not the densest ITX case I've ever seen.
No,
it's not that big. It's just roomy enough that it seems comfortable to work in it.
Yeah, and I was surprised. Like you can see it over my shoulder. It's right next to my other mini ITX case. I was still surprised at how dense it was, and the nice thing about it is that it's the drives are under the motherboard, so they're not crammed in the same space like they are in my other case.
Yep, I
So
remember watching you do something with your other case, and it's like a jigsaw puzzle, getting at a particular part, and then if you don't put it back together right, you have to redo it and change the order. And but that is a super. That I don't know the name of that case, that the old one.
it's the UNAS NSC 800 or
I'll write it up
810.
here.
I can't
I'll write
remember.
it up here. But that's super dense. I don't need that much space in my office.
Yeah,
I'm happy to have a few extra feet of air in my case, just so I don't have tiny hands. I like to be able to get in there.
I love that UNAS
It's a
NS.
fantastic
It's a
case.
fantastic case. I had a I've since moved, but once upon a time, my office was much smaller, and I had a very narrow space, and it fit perfectly in that one spot. And I hated assembling it and putting it together, but once it was together, I was really happy with it. And because I didn't want to take it apart, my intention after printing this case, I finished that. I want to say it's been a year or so, but I was so adverse to working inside, taking apart something that was working just fine and moving it that the MK735 was sadly neglected longer than it should have been.
Well, you've been busy, Tubby.
Yeah,
It happens.
but
It
I'm
happens.
I'm super excited. I haven't moved into it yet, but I will slowly start migrating, upgrading into that right now. I'm still kind of playing around with what I built. I've got all my old drives that I've upgraded from in there, and I'm kind of, I guess, burning it in,
Yeah.
getting to know it.
And it looks like you've got 10 gigabit Ethernet in here.
Yep, it's got two 10 gigabit Ethernet RJ45, which was a bummer. That my switch, all my stuff that I have right now is SFP plus, so I had to buy those funny little transceivers. I haven't
Yep.
used those yet.
I don't know which thing to talk. We've talked plenty about it. It's fine. I'm just trying to think if there's anything.
Well, there's the I'm gonna want to call it an abomination. We didn't talk about the LEDs yet. I haven't put the LEDs in it either.
Well, we can talk about them next time when
Okay.
they're in there.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Hey, Lieutenant Data's here.
Look at that.
Uh
Two and
oh,
a
it
half
was
years.
2.5 years.
I believe
Goodness.
that. That's a long time. I'm sorry, MK735. I didn't ignore you for 2.5 years.
Well, you took a month or two just printing it,
Yeah. Printing it
or
and
3.
and assembling it was
Yeah.
no small no
No, but it's
small.
very well done. It's not.
Yeah, it wasn't
It's
difficult
not
to
all
assemble.
obvious, but it's well thought out.
Yeah. And it was, I mean, I can't remember. I had a difficult time with something silly. I did things wrong. I remember I goofed something up. I did something in the wrong order. I didn't follow Toby's direction, 3D Weeby's directions. I did a
Yep.
bad
And
job.
then you have to go back. I know this feeling.
Yep.
I'm just looking at our list to see what our next topic is going to be, because we do need one more.
Okay. I didn't even say it's running TrueNAS scale.
Do you want to say that? Because then we get to put it in the description.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
All right. I'll ask you the question then.
Okay.
So, what are you running FreeNAS on here, Brian?
Well, I've stuck with that universe. They've rebranded FreeNAS into TrueNAS Core, and that's what's running on my other NAS. But they're on the verge of releasing TrueNAS Scale, and I'm
Okay.
kind of excited about that. This is simplifying it, but the big difference is that TrueNAS Core is based off of FreeBSD, and TrueNAS Scale is, I think, Debian.
Okay.
Debian Linux. And one of the big advantages of TrueNAS Scale is that you can do a lot more, the containerization and Dockers. And what I'm hoping is that I'm going to be able to retire both my old DIY NAS and my home lab machine and consolidate them all onto a single piece of hardware.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm real excited about that.
I'd be excited because I know you've had trouble in previous DIY NASs. Some hardware you ended up having to rule out because it wasn't friendly with FreeBSD yet.
Yeah.
And FreeNAS being behind the FreeBSD releases means it's even farther behind. But nobody builds server hardware that doesn't work with Linux anymore.
Yeah, hardware compatibility is a big bonus of Scale, in my opinion.
It's exciting, Tubby.
Thanks.
I'm excited.
What else should we talk about? I'm looking at our uncategorized.
Yeah, we have such a long list of neat things. I'm gonna go to my upvoted stuff on Reddit to see if I didn't, because I didn't really update this
No,
week.
no,
We
I was
had
gonna-
3 good things to talk about.
I was going to give you a hard time. And some of these things we've talked about.
Or we've talked about their friends.
Yeah. Well, like the Home Assistant Amber funding. We
Oh,
talked
well,
about-
down way at the bottom is... Oh, did I not move Home Assistant down to... Because I still have all our notes from the October show down here. Geez, that should be the November show, probably. Well, I hope I didn't screw that up. Yeah, I need all the URLs to put in the 3 episodes I haven't published yet.
Oh,
And they're still in here.
okay. That makes sense. Yeah, we almost need like a change log of things that we talked about.
Yeah.
Release notes. All right, too much work talk.
An episode about glass. Oh, yeah, there's November's notes. It's just not bold. I'm going to make that bold or something here so it stands out. Oh, geez, yeah, so we shouldn't need the October notes because those are all published. Done. There we go. Yeah, there's just so much stuff. I don't know which thing is smart, Tubby.
Which few things? Maybe Data can give us a suggestion. There's a lot of 3D printing stuff in there.
Are we excited about any FPV stuff?
One of us isn't informed.
Yeah, but I don't know what to be excited. I'm excited about the new Tiny Hawk. I could talk for 10 minutes about Tiny Hawk whoops.
Yeah, he's
The
exciting.
Tiny Hawk 3?
He's kind of a bummer too, a little bit.
Why do you think so?
He's more expensive.
Well, he's better. Too,
Yeah,
though.
but that
Yeah, I know. I know.
we one of the things, and we can talk about this. One of the things that we always say is the Tiny Hawk's great because you can go out, you can fly it into a lake, and you're not out.
Yep, but part of the cost is now they're better goggles and a better radio.
Yep.
It's part of this $300 instead of $220 or whatever it used to be.
Uh-oh. Lieutenant Data we did not have his full attention. We're struggling to find a 4th episode of talking stuff. So we're kind of ad-libbing what we're going to talk about.
I think we could do 5 minutes, 10 minutes about the Tiny Hawk.
Yeah, I think we can too.
I just want to look through why am I looking through? I have the browser open that we're streaming, and I have another browser over here where the notes are, but I have the Tiny Hawk open in both, and I'm scrolling through the wrong one.
Are you trying to figure out why the wrong one's not scrolling?
No, I'm just trying to figure out why I'm bothering to scroll the wrong one. Oh, I'm going to find one of my...
Why even beginners shouldn't buy the Emax Tiny Hawk 3 on 360rumors.com.
I could put up one of the little Whoop Racing tweets to run in the background here while we... Latest?
Is it on Race Day Quads? Sold out
Oh, that's a bummer.
on Race Day Quads. The Emax website was aggravating me.
Oh god, that's going to be big now. Scroll wheel is not... Oh, this is at Paul's house.
Yeah, I was about to say, this looks like when we were at Paul's house. That's
It
a good
does.
one.
This is a good day.
Will that loop?
Yeah, because it's a tweet, so it should
Okay.
just keep going. And I've been cheating and taking the nice video, the original videos, and sneaking them in over top of some of these.
You've been doing a good job. Our video production has increased tremendously as a result.
Thank you for saying I'm doing a good job, Tubby. I'm going to reopen the Tiny Hawk page over in my off-screen browser too, so that I have a reference to read as where this video is going. You ready? I'll start us off.
I'm ready, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another FPV drone racing episode of the Butter What Show. I'm Pat Regan. This is my co-host Brian C. Moses. And not too long ago, Emax came out with a new version of their Tiny Hawk, Tubby.
They did.
And I'm excited. You know, I'm a dope. Don't go anywhere. Well, I'm
You
gonna.
see, right?
There's a Tiny Hawk right here.
Well, I'm pointing at one. An even newer one. I'm gonna get mine too. I feel left out.
You know,
Yours is only a Tiny Hawk 1.
you got the new. You got the two. Can you hear me okay, Tubby? Am I back?
You are back. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you all right. I'm missing a prop on my freestyle here, but it'll have to do. So Emax, the Tiny Hawk is called it's a brushless tiny whoop. And leave me watch again, Judy. This should just be playing. Keep going. Loop. What is a... I'm going to delete a lot of stuff here.
Okay.
All right, first, I'm going to get another prop, Tubby. Oh my gosh.
Wang. I knew that noise.
All right, I've got a spiel. I'll go through a little spiel here.
Okay.
Okay, we've said a lot of stuff that I've deleted here from this episode. Brian and I are FPV drone enthusiasts, and FPV drones is different than those photography drones you see. We wear goggles. You need a radio. You have to buy a radio. These goggles were about $500. This radio was about $200. Then there's extra things. And then you need drones. That's before you get any drones. And getting into this hobby, which is very much like playing a video game, but in real life, getting into the hobby has been challenging for people. And the lovely folks at Emax have upgraded their Tiny Hawk beginner kit, I guess we can call it. Does that sound right to you, Brian?
I think so. I think that's or at least that's what we recommend to people when they ask us about getting into it, because like you were talking about, the entry level to get the hardware that you were just showing on the camera, that's a ton of money. That's a lot of money to spend if you pick up, if you go out and the first day you say, I hate this. It gives me vertigo. I don't like it. I can't figure it out. That's a lot of money to spend to find out you don't like something.
It's true. And the first time I saw an FPV drone and I put somebody's goggles on, I said, "Well, what do I do to get into this?" And they said, "Yeah, spend $300 on a radio, $500 on this, and all this nonsense." I was like, "Well, that seems difficult. That's challenging." But then a few years ago, Emax came out with a kit for this little indoor drone, and the old kit was about $200. Got you a cheap set of goggles, a cheap controller, and the little drone, a little charger, batteries, just enough to get you going. That one was about $200, and it was kind of toy grade. The drone is fantastic. I still fly the drone. But the new kit, the Tiny Hawk 3 kit, is about $100 more, if I'm remembering the price correctly from the old.
Yep.
Well, I know it's $300 because we have it. We have it right here. It's $300. But $300 gets you a decent set of box goggles, a usable radio, not the toy grade radio like they used to. You get a drone. This is the original Tiny Hawk 1, and I haven't broken mine yet. I think that's impressive. How many whoops did you have before the Tiny Hawk, Brian?
Several, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, they used to
Yeah.
always die on
They
me.
die
The
or
frames
they
would
break.
The frames would break, the camera would break, the motors would break. I've been flying this for, could it be 3 years now?
I wouldn't be astonished.
I wouldn't either. I'm
What was
afraid
the
to
date
say
on that
though.
tweet? That at least that long.
At least as long as this one when we were racing. I already had it a year by then. Yeah, it was February 2020. So yeah, easily 3 years I've been flying my Tiny Hawk without killing it, which is impressive. But if you, this video that's playing here, Tubby, this is at our friend Paul's house. There were about a half a dozen of us together, and we set up race gates to run our Tiny Hawks around the house. These are made for in the house, if that wasn't obvious. These little guys. I'm just staring at us going under the pool table here.
It was fun.
This was me racing. This was me This exact drone is what's in that recording that video right there. Well, the goggles are recording the video, but the video's coming out of this camera.
Yep. Look at those sloppy lines.
I know, right? It's the best I could do. And look, my battery's almost dead. Oh gosh, and I was going to go for another lap. I'm making sure we're not missing anything. But this isn't entirely a dead end. If you get this kit and you spend $300, you're going to outgrow these goggles. You're going to outgrow that radio, and you'll outgrow the little battery charger. Everything is. It's just a stepping stone into the world.
Yep.
I imagine you'll fly the drone for a long time, but you can upgrade. Should I find the? I don't need to find the website. This little guy is the Tiny Hawk Freestyle. This one's the original, Tubby.
Yep.
There's the new one is the Tiny Hawk 2 Freestyle, and I'll bet you there'll be a 3 at some point.
A couple months, I imagine.
But yeah, this little guy, if you take him outside and it's windy, you might not be able to fly back to yourself because this doesn't have a lot of power. This other guy, he'll go 50, 60, 70 miles an hour without any trouble. I don't think we speed gunned that, but it feels about right.
Sounds like a challenge.
It does. We have a speed gun. It's in that closet back there.
Is it big enough to set it off?
It's pretty tiny. Well, that's the nice thing about these little guys. Like the drones that Brian and I fly, you put a 100-gram GoPro on the top. They weigh about 1.5 pounds, and they'll go 100 miles an hour, and you could smash a windshield with them. You could ruin somebody's day.
Break bones. Cut. Yeah, they're
cut somebody. Yeah, there's some nasty pictures of people that have made mistakes with larger machines. But these little guys, it's tougher to cause real. Like, don't fly this into somebody's eyeball. Pretend it's a heavy drone that's going to hurt somebody. Just treat it like you would the big scary stuff. But know that you're not likely to hurt somebody if you screw up. The level of fear that you have is a lot lower with something like this. But what I'm saying is, and I don't know if I said this at the beginning, you buy the kit and you get this, and when you're comfortable, you could spend another 120 or 130 bucks on this and start flying outside like the rest of us do. And it should, as far as I know, we'd have to verify this. I'll put it down the bottom if I'm wrong, or I'll cut this out. But this can be controlled by the radio in the kit that I'm pointing at like it's open, but it's not open. Here we go. That radio in the kit, the controller. Brian hasn't told you this, but he has a race timer that we used the last time we raced at his house. You put it underneath one of the gates, and it keeps track of your video signal when it goes past. And Judy counts out and tells you how long it took you for each lap.
Yep.
For each racer. Up to
yep.
4
You could set up. Yeah, mine will do up to 4, right?
Yep.
We didn't do the full 8. And it's a cool little DIY project. I'm sure Pat will put a link to my blog in the video description about building that.
I will. Absolutely. I should have taken some video. I have video of me racing the day that we did that, but I don't have, Judy talking or anything. I don't have any of that.
Yeah, we should have set up a GoPro at the start line or something.
Yeah. But that was pretty neat.
That was fun. Yeah, I'm glad, and we're getting into the time of year where this will be the best flying for lots of people around the country. It's getting cold.
Yeah, the people who are in the cold areas are going to be flying these tiny whoops in the house. This tiny hawk. For sure. We should have made an outline for that episode about all the topics we wanted to hit.
Yep. I bet you the genius who does our video editing can dice that together and make it
I know what I can tell you.
What can you tell me?
Well, when I didn't buy the bundle with the goggles and the radio. I just bought the Tiny Hawk. But when this used to be $200, the camera was a lot. This is a much worse camera. The video transmitter on this is very weak. It's only 25 milliwatt. The new one does 200. The radio was cheaper. Everything in this has been upgraded. Yep. You're getting your extra $100 worth.
Yeah, my upgrade.
Out of the new kit.
I upgraded to the 2 when it came out, and sold my 1, and they did the same thing. A better camera, not as good as the one that's in the 3, but a better camera that was in the OG Tiny Hawk, and it was a fantastic upgrade. And
Yep. I think you're pretty close. I think the Tiny Hawk 2 and 3 are pretty. The drones are pretty comparable, but the radio and the goggles.
Yeah, in the kit.
Oh, and the goggles come apart. Did you see that?
Yeah, the goggles come apart and turn
screen.
I thought that was cool because even when you upgraded to some nice Fat Shark goggles like we have, you could keep that screen forever and use it to show somebody. We always, before COVID, we used to run into people at the park who would ask us what we were doing, and we would loan them our goggles and say, "Hey, here, watch Pat fly and do a power loop on this tree." And
everyone's always excited.
Everyone's always excited, and having that extra monitor is fun.
But my advice would be to any of you guys that buy the Tiny Hawk, when you upgrade your goggles and you upgrade your radio, give them to the next guy, and your friend, your family, father, son, cousin, whatever. Give it to them. Get them hooked too. We need more pilots, Brian.
It would be a fantastic idea. Yeah.
Yep.
What's that? It's not upcycle. Repurpose.
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward.
or sideways or whatever this works out to.
Yeah, because after you get them into it, they're going to spend a bunch of money and they're going to be mad at you for getting them into an expensive hobby. And then you'll have a get out of jail free card. You'll say, hey, I gave you your first radio and goggles. I don't know why you're mad at me.
Yep. Now, that's something we didn't touch on. Is this an expensive hobby, Brian? Uh-oh.
It's a good question.
I think it depends who you ask.
I think it is, but it doesn't have to be, right? I mean,
Yep.
when we first got started, it was like undoubtedly. I mean, we bought $200 radios. There were inexpensive.
We used to have to spend $500 to build one of our 5-inch freestyle drones. You just had to. That was how much stuff cost.
And now you don't. I mean, you can get a decent drone for $200. You can get a decent radio for under $100. You can get decent goggles. I mean, it adds up fast, but I think it's less expensive now to get into than we did before. But it is not an inexpensive hobby either. I mean, hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I always say that I've got about $2,000 in my bag between cameras and spare parts, spare drones, and stuff.
Collection of batteries, chargers. Yep. I mean, and it depends on how far in you want to go. I mean,
but you could get a decent bag full of stuff, of mid-range stuff, for less than some people spend on a driver for their golf bag.
Yep.
It's
or a GPU for your gaming
rig,
for your
right. I mean, today
especially today.
Oh
but
my
even
gosh.
But even in the non-Bitcoin shortage GPU days, a decent GPU would be getting into the drone hobby completely.
Yeah.
Or like a PlayStation 5 or a Nintendo Switch, or throw in the latest gaming console here. It's pretty equivalent.
And it really is like playing a video game in real life, Brian. I can't emphasize that enough, I don't think. Oh, and we didn't even mention that you can play a simulator.
Yeah.
With this. We should have
with
had
the radio. Yep.
Yeah. They didn't say if you could plug this radio. I didn't see it in the write-up if you could plug this in to your computer. But you could set the Tiny Hawk to be a wireless USB joystick kind of magic.
I think, I don't know for sure, but I thought I remember.
But if you're watching this, I know you're watching, Brian, because you're looking right into my eyes here. It's creepy. I see you. But just about every Thursday night, I missed Thanksgiving. I forgot Thanksgiving was a Thursday, Tubby. But every Thursday night at 9 p.m., we play the Velocidrone Racing Simulator with our friends on our Discord server. So if you follow our advice and you get into this, get this kit, come join us and come race with us.
Or just come yell at us for getting you into an expensive hobby. We will apologize.
There's no cheaper way to learn to fly than to fly in the simulator.
Yep.
And no faster way. We didn't have good simulators when Brian and I learned. So we would crash and you'd fly a quarter of a battery and have to go recover your drone. You'd have to go walk out there to find it in the bushes, bring it back, make sure everything was okay, and try again. We used to spend so much time just walking.
Recovering, yeah. Knock it out of a tree, lose it in tall grass, and everybody has to stop and help you.
Yeah, and in the simulator, all you do is you flip a switch on your radio or hit a key on your keyboard, and it resets everything.
You're back to your starting. Yep.
Go try again. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, everybody that we fly with has gotten infinitely better since we started playing in the simulator on a regular basis.
Yep. I haven't flown it since March, but I'm a better pilot than I was in March, for sure. I might be a little goofy the first time I go out to fly freestyle though, because we've been racing.
We've been going fast.
It's a different kind of skill, but there's overlap.
Everything that I do now is fast.
Yeah.
Fast, relatively speaking. I'm not faster than Pat most of the time.
Yeah, and don't be shy about coming to race with us. We have guys that take 2 or 3 minutes a lap, and we have people that take less than a minute for 3 laps, all playing at the same time, and it's fine. Nobody needs to be fast. We have somebody every point in between that. We have somebody, Brian, in our little group.
Yep.
See, we don't do a good job having an end of these episodes, and I'm okay with that. I don't know if it was the one I just uploaded, but we're just talking about random stuff as I put the cards to go to the next episode.
Yep.
I enjoyed the way that worked out.
I can't remember which one I was watching, but
yeah, I almost deleted it because it's not that useful, but I was like, no, this is fine. We'll keep it up there.
it's like that ending was peculiar, and then it just ends.
Yeah.
Click. Nobody even says bye anymore. They just hang up.
Yeah. Why are they not talking? I can't hear them anymore. Oh, they hung up. Oh, I almost told you what I ordered from Get FPV today, but I can't tell you.
I was going to suggest a Brian has no good Christmas gift ideas for Pat episode.
That's a good episode.
You could tell me all the things that you wanted because I really have no good ideas for Pat.
That's okay. I buy everything that I need, and I'm doing a bad job needing things now too, right?
We're both bad at that. It's like, ooh, there's something that I want. I'm going to get it.
I'm looking around my desk to make sure. Uh-oh, Bender went out over there. He's not even lit up anymore.
I didn't
His
notice.
battery must have died. I must have forgot to charge it. There's your poor tile.
Yeah, I murdered it. Good.
Oh, it's so dim. Look at that. It's not even, you can't even tell that that's on, but it's on.
How many milliamps do you think this battery is?
Like, I can't tell how, I can't really tell how thin that is. Is that like 100 or so?
380.
How many?
380. It was in this.
That's pretty big.
It was in this credit card tile.
Yeah, that might be thicker than I think it is then.
I murdered it. Good.
I wish I had one of the other ones in here. I think they're all gone. This flashlight, Tubby, with its little this thing here. See You Diane was telling me about the really cool flashlight he bought from AliExpress.
Uh-huh.
I said, well, I wonder how many lumens my flashlight is. And I looked it up. And I saw, oh, you could get a 3-pack of this flashlight, this 18650 3 AAA flashlight, for $16. They were on sale. I said, well, I got to order them. They're not the same. They're flimsy. They're everything is thinner. These little bits are sharp. They're so thin.
Oh, that's a bummer.
But they work just fine. They're almost as bright. It's fine. It was a good deal. It was a good value. I'm not really complaining. But I was surprised. I wish I had another one in here. They're a half-inch shorter because of how much metal is missing. Yeah.
Interesting.
And I've got, hang on. And I had all these 18650s, Tubby. Do you know this guy?
No, I don't.
This is a Harbor Freight free flashlight. I found a doodad on Thingiverse to put an 18650 in there.
Oh, that's smart.
I thought so too. The only thing you have to do, you have to add a little bit of wire in there to,
so
to connect so it connects. But yeah, I said, well, I've got to print one of those.
For sure.
Not super exciting, but it's something to do with the stack of 18650s.
And a 3D printer.
Yeah.
Now you got to CNC that. A little carbon fiber. Replace that with carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber. That'd be a big chunk of carbon fiber.
It would be, wouldn't it? Maybe
and that's conductive, so it might work.
Be a bad idea.
It might just work.
Oh yeah, it might just work. You won't have to do the wiring.
Yeah.
You might also shock yourself when you go to turn it off.
It's true. Did I do a good job on my lighting here today, Tubby?
I think you did.
I've got this guy turned on back here. But dim. Oh god, that's not dim. To take some of the shadow out on this side. And I've got my yellow light doing the... But I think I'm going to warm this up in post a bit. I feel like my face is cool, and I'm not cool. You watching anything good on TV, Brian?
We were watching. I don't know how far into Ghosts we got. Ghosts?
You're watching the American one?
No, the UK one.
The
Yulia,
UK.
Yulia liked it so much that I think she already binge watched all of the American one.
I like both for different reasons.
Okay.
I love the caveman guy,
Yeah, he's funny.
Robin. He's fantastic. They replaced him with a Viking
What?
in the American one.
Okay. A Viking.
But he's all right. He's fine.
I guess they
he's-
couldn't write it. They wouldn't want to use like a Native American.
They have a Native American.
Oh, they do. Good.
They do. They do, and boy, he fakes you out, Tubby. There's an episode where he says he's not a Native American. He went to a Halloween party in the 90s at the mansion. And then he's like, no, I'm just messing with you.
I like that all the people from the Plague Pit are all the same. They're all the same actors.
Yes.
Yulia pointed that out after like 3 episodes. I was like, oh, that's a good wrinkle. Yeah, and other than that, I've still been trying to catch up with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm doing a bad job.
We started watching Hawkeye.
That's a TV show?
He has a TV show now. Oh, look at you. You're already uploaded. I turned my upload back on.
Oh, okay.
And I can see I'm getting pixelated now.
I couldn't figure out how to not upload. And
You
then
might not be able to. I might have to do it too.
Yeah, I didn't want to mess with it, so. Yeah, what did I watch? I watched Civil War.
Okay.
And then I've watched a bunch. I mean, I've been real sporadic about them, so I get to skip past.
We finished watching Dark. That's the German.
Yep, that's the.
I enjoyed it a lot, and I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah.
Because it's a puzzler.
You guys
It
spoiled
keeps throwing twists at you. The
a little
whole
bit
way.
of it the last
I
time.
did spoil it on you. I'm sorry about that.
A little bit.
Well,
of
you
it.
said you weren't going to watch it.
Yeah. Well, I have
You
such a
never
hard
know.
time watching stuff.
It's hard to watch stuff, Tubby.
It requires like devoting time to it.
Hawkeye is a Disney Plus show, Lieutenant Data. Now, we started watching it too soon because, they're releasing an episode every week.
Oh, so you got
So we have to wait. We're
patient.
caught up and we have to wait now.
What did I
What's
see?
that other show we're watching, Chris? Game of Thrones. It's not Game of Thrones. Wheel of Time.
Yeah, I never watched Game of Thrones.
Nobody would watch Game of Thrones now because the last season was so bad and the ending was so bad. Who would want to commit to watch the first 6 seasons when the 7th one is such a letdown?
Oh, is it?
That's what I didn't even watch the last couple of seasons, but everybody was mad. They've got this, if this makes it into an episode, I'll paste it in here, but they've got this, if the Game of Thrones writers drew a horse, and it starts from the back, and it's a very detailed, shaded
I think
butt
I've
of
seen
a
this.
horse. And it's fantastic, but then when you get to the head, it's just a child's drawing.
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
rest
I've
of
seen
it.
this. I've seen this image.
I'm excited to see how this video turns out because I don't know which of you folks were here when I was complaining about this, but I had a lot of dropped frames and weird timing stuff going on with my video
Yep.
last
You're-
month.
You're pretty pixelated right now in the live
I
stream.
am. I
And
am
I'm
while we're
gorgeous. Look at
uploading.
me.
And I can see my uplink is spinning over here. But not
Faster?
super fast. It's moderately. Oh, but that's only half the story because my laptop's
Laptop.
also uploading too.
I remembered your laptop. I was waiting for you to remember yours.
Yeah, that's only going at about 2 or 3 megabytes. What's 2 or 3 megabytes times 2, I bet you? I've wondered if they have a cap on their end of some sort that messes with this too. Oh, my laptop's going at 7.
Yeah, I'm
So
running
10. That's
right
most of
around
my.
like,
That's the majority of my uplink. I think.
I keep blipping up to 37 megs.
And then drop it to.
Yep.
Well, I'm just constantly uploading this 7 gigabytes, 8 gigabytes of video.
Okay.
What's 150? What's the minus of 150 and oh, Lieutenant Data.
What's the minus of 150 in Lieutenant Data?
X-Men Origins Wolverine. That's the older. I'm confusing this with the one
Logan?
with the little girl in the
Yeah,
future.
that's Logan.
This is the older one where he accidentally cuts the sink in half.
Is that the one with Ryan Reynolds?
Yes. I think so.
That wasn't a very good movie. Wikipedia is telling me about a paywall.
Chris cut 8. She'll tell me if I'm wrong. 18 or 19 boards are all of her catch-all trays that I can't hold up here because they have all kinds of stuff in mine. Here. It's pixelated.
It would be
I'll hold it
gorgeous if it wasn't so pixelated.
I know, right? Look at it being all pixels. So many, not many pixels.
Which glasses are those?
Those are mid-range. Those are mid-range. I don't know where the distance are. They're black. They're right here. I'm going to put these on.
I think the only way I could make that work is if I had all of the glasses at all of the places. And I know that I would slowly just have
yeah, they'll wander
the
off,
wrong,
right?
They'll wander off, like, and not wander off in like an organic, where it
no, they'll all
sorts
end up in the
itself
same
out.
place
Yeah,
where they'll be in the
all of my
refrigerator
glasses
or
will be in
something.
the kitchen. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the good news is that this is at least an option. The
Yes.
bad news is it's going to be a requirement someday, Tubby. You're gonna if you're not there yet, you're gonna get there. But holy crap, Tubby! Next time you get glasses, it's worth spending the $40 just to find out.
Is that all it costs? Or
Yeah, $43 a pair for me at my prescription.
okay,
They were closer to $60 for Chris because she has thicker glasses, so she needs the fancier material.
okay.
Yeah, I think $125 for 3 pairs for me.
That's not awful.
Ship.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Elijah. It was that time about an hour and 43 minutes ago.
It was. We're petering out. We're running out of things. We recorded all the episodes and we're running out of weird stuff to talk about. I feel like there was something I'm supposed to talk about with you, Tubby, because I haven't seen you in a month.
In a month, yeah.
It's been a while. I hear Mike is coming over for pizza this week, though.
I hope so.
I hope so, too.
I
have somebody else to talk to at your house.
I got a TV to
besides
hang.
you.
Maybe we can play with some home automation stuff.
Well, that'd be fun.
Wire up
I
some...
might have recorded our last creativity podcast with a little too much sensitivity on the mic.
Uh-oh.
I'm a little bummed out about that. It was not obvious. I did not see myself hitting even the yellow. But I'm learning. I learn something new every time.
I don't know if I'm happy with how my lights look today.
I'm happy with what I see.
It's not bad. I wanted to do with my...
You're a lot less orange in your face than you were last time.
Okay.
Do you do manual white balance on your camera?
I do.
Make sure that you do. I'm wondering now that this is clicking up in my brain here. I wonder if it's doing an auto white balance on the whole image, not your face.
Yep.
Right.
Oh,
so
I
if
don't
it is
do
doing
auto white balance. Yeah.
Your background might have been adjusting.
Yep. No, I
and
don't.
I didn't know how to fix you. You're very orange in 4 of our videos. you're going to
Interesting.
be. And it's just how it is. Because
I wonder
I
which
tried.
floor that was.
The last month's videos. You have a very dark background.
Yeah.
Blue. Is it blue?
I was
That time?
blue in a lot. But that's when I was using that other smart bulb.
But I'm just wondering if whatever light you had in the background was confusing. If you
Yeah.
had if your white balance was
No,
on.
no, I don't do. I should be full manual.
Well, that's a whole nother.
And I set it. Well, I have.
You look fine today, Tubby.
Well,
But if you're gonna mess with more background color lightings, make sure just check it to make sure.
yeah.
that
No,
you're
I
right.
look. I looked. I looked at it today.
Good. I saw you holding up your new video lights, but I didn't get to see them.
Yeah.
Can you connect a camera with a Pie Picot? I'm gonna guess no, because the Pie Picot is not a real Pi. It was very. I'm very disappointed, Brian, that the Raspberry Pi folks named their Arduino competitor a Raspberry Pi.
Well, there's
Because it used to be all the Raspberry Pis were small computers, and now one is a microcontroller. But I might be wrong, because an ESP32 can run a camera somehow very poorly. But I don't know what you would do with it, because at least the ESP32 is Wi-Fi, so you can set up a little Wi-Fi camera. But the Pico has no Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever even looked at the Pico. I just pulled it up and I'm looking at.
It's almost impossible to buy right now, so we haven't been paying them too much attention. But they're porting the QMK keyboard firmware to the Pico. And it has a few more pins than an Arduino Pro Micro, so it's going to be a nice keyboard controller.
Okay.
I could complain about keyboards, Tubby.
Why are you complaining about keyboards?
Well, Jeremy's MacroPad has me wanting to make a custom keyboard for my desk.
Okay.
I'd really like a split keyboard, and I'd like more keys that I can hit with my thumb. But as soon as you want, I play video games. Tubby, do you play video games?
I used to.
When you move your fingers over to use W, A, S, and D, your thumb moves over one notch too, right? So the split space bar is going to be funky. Not the split, like if instead of just one space, like if you could put 4 or 5 keys here, so that you could. A lot of people put like shift and control and stuff there, so you don't have to use your pinky for these kind of things. And enter. That used to be the common one. If you just split a keyboard in half, one side becomes enter, one side becomes space bar.
Okay.
So you don't have to keep, pinkies out. I don't know. But that goofs me up for wanting a split keyboard and having more spacebar keys. I don't know what to do there, which means that I'm very happy with this little layout. What happens if I unplug my keyboard in the middle of...
We probably won't be able to type anymore.
That's okay, though. I'm not typing at anybody. And I'm still pixelated, so you guys...
Hey, look at that. A black pixelated blob.
I know, right? And the lights went off, because it's... But it's 81 keys.
Okay.
Over here is your page up and page down set of keys. I have arrow keys. And I have function keys. But there's no numpad.
I need a numpad.
We got to get you trained. You got to hire somebody to do your data entry for you, Tubby.
I gotta have a
need a numpad.
I gotta have a numpad.
It's so nice having the mouse that much closer. I like it so much. I'm too stupid to plug this back in. Is this upside down? I hope you guys aren't watching me, are you?
I'm not watching. Don't spill your coffee.
I can't. I drank it already, and I spilled some on my face already.
Yeah, I'm trying to
so
think.
I was tempted to to find nicer keys to put on this keyboard, maybe?
Yeah.
Instead of the knockoff blue switches, there's
Like,
I don't know the names. There's a pink, somebody's pink or switch, or it's a double color or something. It's supposed to be
Pinkerton?
closer to the Model M switches that I love so much.
okay.
And that would be easy to just, spend $50 and put keys in this $20 frame that I like. And these are hot swap. You just yoink them.
But where's your number pad?
Well, I don't type numbers, Tubby. I import them from other things.
Well, what
Or
if you
I-
like open up the calculator and you got to punch numbers in?
Yeah, but how many do you punch in? Like 3 numbers or something in the calculator? Do you know what? I'm going to tell you something. You know what I use when I need a calculator?
A phone?
A phone. Most of
You're
the
a
time I'll use my
caveman.
phone.
Okay, boomer.
I know, right? Well, I'm not at my computer when I need to calculate all that often, I don't think.
I had
Need
to do it the other
calculate.
day when I was telling that guy how expensive a SATA DOM was per terabyte.
You got to do that math. But that's only like 8 digits you had to type there, maybe. That's not too bad.
Well, I had to turn gigabytes into terabytes. Then I had
Well,
to remember
You holler, you say,
division.
hey, Judy, what's 8 terabytes to dollars or so? There must be some way you can phrase that to her and she'll give you the right number. Lieutenant Data does not move his hand to the WASD when he plays video games. I would have so much trouble because I need this row of key. I need to pinky, the crouch and the run button over here.
Yeah, I was just doing this. Like, do I move my hands? I do, but my keyboard practice, it was terrible. Typing class.
God, there are
we called it
scratch
typing
marks. There are
classes.
literal scratch marks on my S key.
What'd you do to your S key?
I can't even imagine. Am I hitting it that hard when I back away from things? Like with my fingernail? I mean, these are cheap keys. They might be very soft. Am I like, that's the one when you're scared and you got to back away. Am I hitting it that hard?
It's possible.
I'm going to take a picture of this later. You guys will see this. This is
It'll
impressive.
make a good tweet.
There's the other option that you can move. You can remap the keys so that you can use, ESD and F instead of WAS and D and not have to. But that brings a whole set of problems on its own, right?
I'm pretty sure that'd break my brain.
Either you remap the games, every single game,
Yep.
or you can't text chat, right? Because you would remap the key, you'd switch the mapping on the keyboard, so ESD and F or WAS, you move, shift everything. Now you can't type without changing the mapping. Oh, he rebinds crouch to C. That's pretty good. But I'm afraid to remap everything. I'm afraid. I don't know if I want to.
Well, you're solving a problem by causing others
I am.
potentially.
Did you see that keyboard I linked? I'm going to bring this up because I know it's in my... No, I don't actually have it. I don't know where to find it. There's a
Discord.
custom QMK keyboard that has a 5-way switch near each of your thumbs. A 5-way switch is essentially a D-pad with a button
Okay.
in the middle. You could wiggle it. It's a joystick. You can go... So if you aim those just right, you could do like one of these to push it in a particular... Like maybe you can't push it all 5 ways easily, but you could click it and you can push it. I'm curious. I'm super curious about what that would be like out here. Like I'd still want a real key for a spacebar, because when I need to jump, it needs to happen. I don't need this weird 5-way key.
Yep.
But I'm real curious about that.
I can only imagine what text chat with you would be like if you didn't have a space bar.
Blur off, blur. It would be terrible. It would be terrible. But are we going to play TF2 again, Tubby?
We should.
I did not encounter any cheaters in the 2.5 to 3 rounds that I played last night.
Well, you did a good job.
But it was at 2 a.m., so who knows? if that's better
What
or
you
worse.
think those bots go to bed?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. Should they be worse at night when there's fewer people and more bots?
Yeah, that's what I would expect.
I would expect that too. So that's a good sign.
But maybe they know that.
Oh boy, that's fascinating. Should I be terrified of that? I have my
Well,
laptop plugged in over here. The power brick tells you the voltage. It was at 19 earlier, and now it's at 18.5. I want...
what's the worst that could happen?
I installed Edge TX on my radio, Tubby.
You did. Did you do
Oh,
mine?
that means I don't have the crap. I was going to make Alex say turtle mode and
Oh
stuff.
no, you
But I
lost
didn't
all of
copy
your
him on there yet.
Okay.
I have him still. I just didn't. I didn't get that far.
Are you going to be able to play Simulator on Thursday night after you invited everybody to join us?
I sure hope so. I tried the simulator, and supposedly this is going to be 20 or 30 milliseconds faster response time than OpenTX was.
Did you
over
notice?
USB.
That should be noticeable.
I turned too soon a lot in the 3 laps I did. Like, I'd hit the inside of the gate. Right
Turn
into
tight.
it.
You'll turn tighter now. That's
Yeah,
good.
I'm turning. Yeah, I need to turn later. So it must. I'm thinking yes, it made a difference, and I just have to readjust back to.
I keep thinking about putting together a flight controller and a crossfire receiver and making a little USB doodad.
I'm tempted to. I want to get all my drones back in the air. They all fly, I think, but the release candidates for Betaflight 4.3 are supposed to be coming.
Okay. Is that going to be go back to scratch and retune everything?
I hope not. I'm on Betaflight 4.3 anyway, so I should be able to copy in
Yep.
what I've got.
Well, for the rest of us that are on, I'm on what, 423 maybe?
Yeah, who knows? It's a good question. But at least I have a base. It won't be too bad. But I'm candidates because I have a feeling that since they just did the feature freeze, all the nightly builds are going to be terrifying.
Yep.
I'm looking around, Tubby, to see if I should tell you about anything. I've got nothing. Should we call it a night? When are we playing TF2? What's today?
Today's Tuesday.
It's not even Thursday today.
No. Thursday we'd be flying drones.
Oh, this is true.
Tomorrow's Wednesday. So I'm guessing probably Wednesday or Friday night.
Okay. You talked me into it.
All right.
Get your HUD updated.
Oh, that's right.
It was really hard. I was playing Demo Man on the last point, and it was very hard to be avoiding everybody and set the stickies off when they got on the cart because I couldn't see my cart was missing. The little, it's not a map. It's a progress bar, really, but
Yes.
It tells you how many people are on the cart. I didn't get to see.
Interesting. Okay.
There were other nuisances. Every now and then weird things were happening with the HUD, but that was consistently wrong, and
A HUD,
it
right?
made me feel... A HUD, yeah, that's what I
HUD.
use. I use a HUD.
A HUD.
A HUD. But I think we should call it a night. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks
It's fun having you guys here. Hopefully we got 4 good episodes out of this, so I could publish through the new year here.
We got at least one really great episode where we talked about DIY NAS stuff.
That's true. We did. I still think you should give away the old NAS. I think people will be excited. But
Yeah?
we're supposed to be signing off. I'm not supposed to argue
All right.
about that. You guys have a good night.
Everybody have an awesome night.
Uh-oh, I can't see the hang up button.